Okay, so hopefully you had success finishing your second row nice and tight. My thread's coming out on the left side. Start to see the brick stitch. A couple common things that happen is you'll be weaving and you forget to watch your tail on your needle and it pulls out. And that's okay. You just have to rethread it. Or you're working with such a long piece of thread that it gets caught up. If you ever can't problem solve it quickly, take your needle off so that you can unthread what you just did. That's the least way of making a knot. These kits come with enough thread so that if you do make a mistake and have to start over, you'll have it. So you've got that going for you. Okay, so looking at this, now we're going to start on our third row, which means we're going to work our pattern from left to right. So we're looking at this, we're working our pattern from left to right. I've laid out all of my colors already. I just find that that's really helpful since we're going from left to right and then from right to left and then left to right. It just helps keep focused because there's lots of different colors and amounts, and it's a good way to make a mistake if you don't lay them out the way that you're going to be weaving them. And so that's great. And then typically making a drop, once you get the hang of it, they can take 20 to 30 minutes each drop. I think after your second one, you're going to start to see the difference in how you flow with it. So it becomes a lot of fun. And these drops are just, like I said, a really nice introduction to brick stitch bead weaving because it's not too long. Like you see the earrings that people make, and those can take so many hours to do. Whereas this, you're going to have an interchangeable necklace to wear, after an hour and a half. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so we're getting ready to start a row. So what does that mean? That means we need to pick up 2. We're going to pick up 2 beads. So we're doing this step again. So while this is showing you the second row that we started, we're starting the third row, but it's the same concept where we're going to pick up 2 beads, A and B. We're going to go through that little loop that our thread leaves that sits on top of the beads from the previous row. And then we're going to go up through the bottom B and pull it tight. So in this case, for row 3, and we're working left to right now on this row, the pattern starts with 4 of color number 1. So we know that we have to pick up 2 because we're starting a row. So we're going to pick up 2 of color number 1. As it flies away. This is the other reason why these little mats are so great, which we sell on the website, and we sell the extra needles, extra thread, lots of colors of these Delica size 11s. There's over 400 on the website. These little scissors, which are wonderful. If you didn't get a camper kit, we sell all of this individually. Okay, so I've got my 2 beads threaded, and I want to go through that little loop that sits on top. I'm going to pull nice and tight. And then you start to see, get my big thumbs out of the way here, that they want to start to lie correctly, right? They're starting to do the thing that we want them to do. Sometimes it needs a little coaxing just so you can get to the bottom of your B. So here we are. I'm going to pull this a little tighter for me, and then I'll have it against my finger so it can't really move around a lot. I'm threading up through the base of B, right? And now I'm going to pull it nice and tight. There it is. So we start to get that. Okay, so now we're going to do our next bead. And remember, now we're just doing 1 bead at a time until we get to the next row where we pick up 2. So now in the pattern, because we're still on this first color 1 that has 4, now I'll pick up the next bead, bead 3, and we're going to go through the loop and back through the bottom of the bead, right? Okay, so you've got this row to finish plus row 4, row 5, row 6, row 7, row 8, and row 9. So get to work on those, and then I'll meet you back here when you're done row 9. Do not cut any thread. Keep all your thread there. We're going to need it because the next step after we get all our rows done is called zipping it together. So we're going to zip it together once we have all of our rows done. So I'll see you soon.